Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, your home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. In today's video, we wanted to provide a follow-up on Immix Biopharma. This is one that we've covered previously on the channel. We had a few subscribers reach out and ask for an update, so that's exactly what we're going to do in today's presentation. Before we do though, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a big help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join. And let us know in the comments section below if you're currently holding shares of Immix Biopharma, your thoughts on this company's strategy and outlook moving forward. Now, with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Immix Biopharma Incorporated, trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker IMMX. Now this is one that we've covered previously on the channel. I wanted to provide an update on Immix Biopharma because they have had a number of key developments and key catalysts on the horizon since our last coverage. Now, if we look at the chart, you can see down 0.5% or 1 cent per share today, currently trading hands at $1.88. This is midday Thursday, August 15th. If we bring up a 1-month chart, you can see a local high in the neighborhood of about $2.31 at the end of July 30th. Current market cap just north of $50 million US. And if we scroll down into the news section here, you can see a number of key updates again in recent months, including the dosing of their first patient in the United States, amyloidosis trials, which we're going to talk about in today's presentation. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Immix Biopharma, I wanted to jump over to the corporate website. I'll leave this linked in the video description below so you can go in and take a closer look for yourself. This company is all about CAR T technology. You can see that Immix Bio is an amyloidosis and immune-mediated disease CAR T clinical trailblazer, allowing access to a one-time transformative treatment right at patients' doorsteps for addressing amyloidosis, multiple myeloma, and other blood disorders that are currently not available to patients with these disorders. Based on groundbreaking cell therapy research that was conducted all the way back in the 2010s with Dr. Carl June at the University of Pennsylvania. The first actual cell therapies were approved in the United States in August and October of 2017 for certain types of blood cancer. And if you fast forward, the United States has become a blossoming center of expertise in this field, including manufacturing sites as well as clinical and patient experiences in cell therapy or in this sector. However, despite this progress and due to the neurotoxicity and other side effects, 95% of current US medical centers are unable to dose patients using these pioneering CAR T cell therapies. So this is obviously a huge disadvantage for patients as there's new, better therapies available that aren't being administered or being able to be given at certain medical centers. Now, additionally, due to neurotoxicity and other side effects, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in the presentation, only a narrow band of patients with specific indications are currently able to benefit from these CAR Ts and the related technology. Now, Immix Bio is looking to change that paradigm by being the first company to overcome the greatest obstacle to CAR T adoption, which you guessed it is neurotoxicity. By overcoming this, they aim to expand the indications that were not possible in the past, and in places not possible, opening up those other 95% of US medical centers that are currently unable to dose using CAR T therapy. Now, in terms of the science behind how these therapies actually work, the company themselves have put out a number of great videos on the corporate website, which we're going to take a quick look at next in the video.
Light chain amyloidosis affects around 33,000 people in the United States and is difficult to treat. In light chain amyloidosis, an overproduction of misfolded amyloid proteins leads to their accumulation in various organs, such as the heart, liver, kidneys, and nervous system, impairing their vital functions. Patients frequently suffer from shortness of breath, leg swelling, dizziness, and numbness. Immune-mediated diseases affect millions of people in the United States, and many have a poor response to current treatments. An immune-mediated disease-causing antibodies are incorrectly directed and cause damage to a patient's own body. including the joints, skin, nervous system, and various organ systems. NXC-201, a breakthrough CAR T therapeutic, represents a next-generation chimeric antigen receptor T cell therapy, enhancing this innovative approach for AL amyloidosis and immune-mediated diseases.
So as you can see, Immix Biopharma is harnessing CAR T therapy technology. They've come out now with this lead candidate using their ingenious platform known as their CAR T NXC-201. That's become really their lead candidate or flagship product, and that's what we're going to look at throughout today's presentation. Now you may ask, what is NXC-201 CAR T therapy? Each of our bodies has an immune system, obviously, that recognizes and eliminates disease on a daily basis. That's how it's generally supposed to function. However, when amyloidosis emerges from our own body, as we just saw in that video, the disease cells are able to actually evade the immune system. Now, NXC-201 CAR T cell therapy, at least in the opinion of Immix Biopharma, is the solution to this problem. It's known as a chimeric antigen receptor T cell therapy, and it's a type of immunotherapy that uses the patient's own immune cells modified with the Immix Bio proprietary technology to create this new compound NXC-201, which is then introduced back into the patient's body. The patient's modified NXC-201 CAR T cells are able to recognize and eliminate disease cells with up to 92% rate of disease reduction or overall response rate in the case of relapsed or refractory AL amyloidosis. Now, the ingenious platform is what they actually use to produce this sterically optimized CAR T treatment. Now, as we just heard, there's around 33,000 patients in 2024 in the US alone with concerns of amyloidosis. There's no FDA approved treatments, and there's no current approved FDA treatments for what's known as relapsed or refractory AL amyloidosis. Now, due to its non-specific symptoms such as fatigue, weight loss, swelling, these are really symptomatic of a lot of different diseases or conditions. It's often misdiagnosed or detected in later stages. Now, without effective treatment, the median survival rate for AL patients with advanced cardiac involvement can be less than a year, so this is of critical importance to the medical community. Now, if we jump into the investor presentation, you can see the Immix Biopharma highlights specifically respond to those concerns, looking to transform the treatment of relapsed or refractory AL amyloidosis to those 30,000 plus individuals that are currently struggling with treatment. They talk about some of those exceptional response rates and a 75% complete response rate in patients without the BCMA biospecific exposure. They've got a clinical profile ideal for immune-mediated diseases, and again, that sterically optimized proprietary CAR T construct derived from their ingenious platform with 3 key CAR modifications that we'll look at next up in the presentation. Now, earlier we talked about some of the recent news developments. In terms of near-term milestones, there's a few upcoming on the horizon here, including the initial NexaCart-2 clinical data presentation in the 4th quarter of this year, the reporting of their interim clinical trial data readouts for the NexaCart-2 trial in AL amyloidosis in the 2nd or 3rd quarter of next year, and subsequent events supporting this development in the 4th quarter of 2025 and middle of 2026. And you can see a few of their completed milestones listed here on the right as well. Now, in terms of the actual development pipeline, so for the relapsed or refractory indication, they're currently in phase 2. For the undisclosed immune-mediated diseases, they're currently in the IND-enabled or preclinical phase, with those upcoming milestones categorized and listed on the right. Now, we'd be remiss in this video if we didn't talk about the world-class team that's been assembled at Immix Biopharma. We're not going to go through the entire cast here, you guys, but if you look at some of the prior experience and work history of these individuals, very widespread, well-connected, and experienced in the industry, with Ilya Rachman, MD, PhD, and the CEO of Immix Biopharma. And if we now take a deeper look at the technology itself, specifically the ingenious platform and the sterically optimized CAR T construct of this NXC-201 profile, you can see here are the 3 key modifications or differences mentioned on the prior slide. Now this does get fairly technical, so I would encourage you guys to go into the deck for yourself and take a closer look through these slides. But essentially these three key modifications have made tremendous improvements in the CAR T construct, and as a result, greatly enhanced results and patient outcomes. Now, as you can see further down in the presentation, the advantages of this CAR T NXC201 in relapsed and refractory AL amyloidosis compared to antibody drug conjugates and biospecifics, requiring a one-time treatment, a high complete response rate, which we just talked about, low rates of severe infection, and no ICANS or neurotoxicity, which, as we learned at the start of the presentation, is the key thing holding back the delivery of CAR T therapy in many of the clinics around the United States. Now, to close things out here today, I wanted to pull up a recent press release put out on July 25th from Immix Biopharma talking about the California Institute for Regenerative Medicine awarding funding for this NXC201 clinical trial or NexaCART-2 trial, which we just talked about. This includes an $8 million grant towards supporting clinical development of this chimeric antigen receptor T-cell or CAR T therapy. And as the CEO, Ilya Rachman, goes on to say, we are grateful for the recognition from CIRM of the importance of the NXC201 in relapsed refractory AL amyloidosis, for which there are no FDA-approved drugs today. So this really underscores or underpins the importance of this research, what Immix Biopharma is doing, and the demand or appetite for these treatment alternatives in the medical field. Now, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on Immix Biopharma, specifically if you're holding shares, in the comment section below, your outlook on this company's strategy and pipeline towards the end of this year and into 2025. If you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found value, so make sure you hit the like button, you guys. It's a big help in getting this content to other people like you who may find value. And if you're not currently subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join. We'd love to have you as part of the community. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in our next video.